Thank you for coming tonight. I hope you will understand my English, so I'll try to speak slow. If you have questions, you ask me everything. And so I come from Italy, and I lived in Norway for the past 3 years, and now I'm traveling through Asia. And my work is based on textile, sculpture and installation, and environmental art projects. I use different kind of looms. So those two are Norwegian looms, and the way I work with tapestry is very different from the way you work with tapestries, because I work more with volumes and surfaces rather than with color and patterns, and I mix material and create volumes with my tapestry. I call them tapestry, but I don't know really. I think they are more like sculptures. The other loom you see there is a very old loom, and is part of the workshop I've been working for, which is a weaving workshop for the design and the making of traditional Norwegian carpets. And this is a machine which is part of a museum. The workshop is a museum and is driven by electricity, but they need a person to run them. And they are really beautiful machines, but very noisy and very moody. So it's not easy to use them. This is the way I use tapestry as a sculpture. This is an installation for a project in Italy about textile art. And I mix different kind of recycled material. This is made out of paper and recycled yarn like wool or cotton, and it becomes a sculpture because it's stretched in the space and creates volumes. And another way I use textile for installation is outdoor. So this is made out of recycled material. When the economic crisis started in Italy, it was a big problem for everyone, but for me it was actually fortunate, because I could collect a lot of materials that company couldn't use anymore, so I could make a lot of works out of them. And this is with this kind of project I did several installations. This one is in China, and is recycled yarn from recycled rope for ship, and is a work by hand, is crochet and knitted, and I prepared the material before, and then I set up the installation once in place as a site-specific installation. And this work is another way I work with sculpture, and I did it in 2012 when I was in Australia during a residency, a Sunshine Home in Pymble, Sydney, and it was a work about diversity. Encountering the nature in Australia, I was so surprised and inspired, and I thought I could use these new shapes in my work by putting them together and creating a new kind of work with different parts together. And this is made out of eucalyptus trees and pine cones and gum nuts and recycled and made paper. When I travel to different places, I like to learn new techniques and to be inspired by nature. So this is my first encounter with Norway, and this is a felted wool. So in Norway they really have a long tradition in felt, and they have a really special kind of wool which is perfect to be felted. So I just learned the process and made this work inspired by the Norwegian forest, which for me is really is a bit scary and mysterious. And so this is my vision of the Norwegian forest. And of course I used light in it because in Norway it's always dark. so I needed some light. Yeah, this is a project, a textile installation, site-specific, I did in China last year, and this is recycled wool from Norway, from the textile company I was working with, and this is the way I built up the tapestry. So you can see different kind of techniques, and there is a rope making and macrame, crochet. The yarn I use is very thick, so it allowed me to make these big volumes. And it was made for a project on a riverside, so the water was really important for the community in this village, and so I decided to make a waterfall, and the project title was Flowing Inspiration. Lately I've started to work for environmental art project. They don't allow to use any other kind of material than natural materials, so it was really a challenge for me, because I didn't know how to build sculptures without being able to use nails, for example, or steel as a structure. So I had to learn a new way of working, and of course I did it, but it was really difficult, and for a week I couldn't work because I wasn't able to start and create with this new challenge. And the project is not to be seen by one single point of view, but it has to be explored, because it's made out of many different kinds of parts, inspired by the nature in Chelong village, which is a village in Taiwan. And this was a community-based project. We have been working with the kids from the elementary school and some women from the village. They came every day and helped me building the work, and we designed the shapes together. This is another project, environmental art project made out of natural materials, and this is those are a kind of vines that you can find in Taiwan. There are 3 different kinds of vines woven together using basically a coil basket weaving technique. And what is interesting to me in this project, that was another collaborative project, is that the surfaces are really different, because we have been working with a lot of people, and every one of them has left their mark on the sculptures. So they are really different from one another, and I really like the difference of the surfaces. And this is a project related to the place and the park, and is based on science, because is related to the avian flu virus, which was basically the reason why the park was born, to bring people back to the wetland, and after the outbreak of the flu. This is the way I work with people. Lately I've started to use my textile sculpture in a different way, and I wanted to bring back myself into the work, not just make something for people to see, but I wanted to make something for me also. So I started to play with my sculpture and interact with them in a more performative way. And yeah, this is something I have to develop. It's just the beginning of a project. And yeah, this is the work I did here, inspired by these beautiful shapes. I wanted to use the colors on my sculptures and the way you use for weaving. So I tried this one first, and then I made a small tapestry that you can see on the table. And it was really interesting to see the way you work and to try to learn something from you. I hope I could learn something. And this is an idea for another project that is inspired by the nature in Australia again. but I don't know if I ever gonna make it, but just, yeah. So if you want to know more about my projects, or if you want to follow my next residencies, you go on my website and have a look, and yeah, maybe I will find a place to live somewhere.